Now, we should be live. Welcome, guys, to our. We haven't done a collab in a while, so it's our first collab in quite a little bit.
First collab of 2022.
Yeah, and actually, but yeah, we have Rob here for the first time. He's had us on his channel for a lot, but we've never had him on our channel. So, welcome, Rob, to the entertainment crew.
Thank you, man. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it, man. It's always good to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, hopefully we started already. Yeah, we did start. All right.
Yeah, we started.
Yeah.
I got the notification. We got the notification.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully people jump in, but our first topic is we're going to go episode by episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to discuss our thoughts on the episodes. So episode 1, I'm going to start off with you, Luke. What do you think of episode 1 of the Book of Boba Fett?
Episode 1, I'm trying to remember because it's been a little bit now.
It has been.
What was episode 1 about? Just give me a briefing.
I think it was wasn't it about like how he escaped the Sarlacc and what happened to his armor and how, and then like he was just laying in the desert. And you know what I found weird about that? That was one thing I found weird. Like, why did the Jawas take in the other guy? They just took him in, and Boba, they're like, oh, we're just gonna take your armor and leave you hanging. And meantime, the other guy from the Mandalorian, I forgot what's his name? The sheriff. Oh God, I'm forgetting his name now.
Yeah, I forgot his name too.
Yeah, they just let him to dry. They're like, oh, we're gonna take you in because you're in the desert all by yourself. He didn't have any armor. He didn't have nothing of value, but whatever was in the suitcase. But the Jawas took him in and took care of him, and then they found out. He's like, hey, I'll trade you for that armor. Meantime, Boba Fett, they just steal his armor and leave him there. I'm like, wow, that's like two opposite ends of the spectrum. Like, what? Why were they so caring for the guy who played the sheriff? But meantime, Boba Fett, they just left there. I found that that was one thing I found that really, really was weird. I don't know if you guys thought of that or I don't know what your thoughts are on what you think of that.
I think that it kind of makes sense from my perspective because you think about it, it is two different situations. On one situation, we got the sheriff. He could probably fight back, right, against the Jawas if they try to kill him. But Boba Fett, he's just laying there. He's like prime opportunity. They could just snatch his armor and get away with it. So Jawas are very like slimy, snaky creatures, and so I think it kind of makes sense for them to take advantage of somebody who's unconscious. I don't think they really have honor, the Jawas. So I think it makes sense. But
I don't know what Luke thinks.
What's the background noise?
Oh, it's Maya. Sorry. They're making noise. They're in the kitchen. Sorry. I'll put my mic on mute. Sorry. Go ahead.
All right. No worries, man. No worries. I thought that episode, I liked it. How they kind of like what they did with him crawling out and stuff like that. I kind of like the little setup that they brought with him. Episode 2, if I'm not mistaken, was solely about like him with the Raiders, Tusken Raiders, correct?
Yeah, that was all Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, that's how they like that was the one when he was captured basically with that Greedo kind of person. And he's trying to get out, and the guy's looking at him like, "What are you trying to do?" And then they the young one takes him, and then they encounter that 4-armed monster, and he helps. I think he helps kill the monster, but But he gives the head to the kid, and he lets the kid take credit for it. Like he pretends like whatever. But the chief knows that he played a role in it. And I think episode 3 is when they start when that train comes, and like they start training Boba, and the train comes, and he's like, "What the hell?" And so he goes to fight those guys in the cantina, whatever, and he tries to help stop the train. And they do that whole mission with the train. He teaches them about the speeder bikes, and then I think episode 4 is when he finds out that they get destroyed, and he goes to the Sarlacc pit. And then I think episode 5 is with the Mando. I think that's everything. If I remember it all. Oh, Cobb Vanth. That's his
Oh
name.
yeah, there we go. There we
I
go.
just looked
I
it
remember
up.
it now.
Cobb Vanth. That I was like, man, I know his name is Vanth. I couldn't remember the first name, but Cobb Vanth was the sheriff. I have to say that episode. I know it's jumping off topic,
Mhm.
but I really loved that episode when the Mando comes to town. And we thought at first, I'm like, that's not Boba, because I knew it wasn't Boba because he was too skinny to be Boba. His body type was too skinny. But I was wondering, like, how the hell did this guy get his armor? And I thought it was a really great episode to introduce Cobb Vanth, and I like this character. I really hope that they bring him back. And I was hoping
I
that
agree.
maybe because there's 2 episodes left, and I was talking with Luke about this offline. Maybe they bring him in. Maybe
Oh,
they
yeah.
go to town, and maybe she hires Cobb Vanth. Like it would be smart. The Mando said, "Okay, you want me? That's no problem. Tell Boba it's on me. But if I was you, I'd also go to this town and go get the sheriff." And I think that would have been really cool to get him back involved. I mean, it's just me.
Yeah, I agree with that actually. I think my dad actually told me the same thing. He's like, "Yeah, you should make a video on Cobb Vanth because he might pop in." But yeah, I think episode 1 is a pretty decent episode. It made me pretty excited for the show. It's not like amazing, or it's not like the most groundbreaking Star Wars we've ever seen, but it is, it's serviceable, and I think it was a fine start for the show, a pilot episode for a show. It did its job, I think. And episode 2, actually, did we say what are your thoughts on episode 1, Luke? Did you say it, or
Yeah, overall, episode 1 was, yeah, I think it was a good like kind of send in to the story. I did enjoy it. I don't have too much to say about it. I mean, quite frankly, I don't remember much about it, so that's probably not a good thing. But episode, I'm just gonna be honest here, I don't remember it very well. Episode 2, on the other hand, now that we're getting into that, episode 2 was pretty good. I think it is overrated a little bit because everyone's like, "Oh my god, this is like better than Son of the Mandalorian." No, it's not. No, it's not. Let's just be honest. So I don't think episode 2 is the best episode in the show, but I do think it was good. I like seeing the Tusken Raiders kind of like getting explored a little bit more. You know what I mean? It kind of brings new perspectives. Like, oh yeah, man, Anakin, he killed people like these. They're not just monsters. They're like a tribe. They're not totally. They're not totally all violent, all just dumb creatures. So that's a new perspective to look into with the franchise, which I enjoyed. I thought it was a little bit weird Boba Fett being with them, but like if I were to think Boba Fett getting out of the Sarlacc pit, he would just be chilling with some raiders. If you told me that, I wouldn't really believe it, but that's what happened, man. So I thought episode 2 was pretty good. Overrated, but it was good. That's my thoughts.
what do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I agree with Luke. I like when we see the movies. I always wondered why George didn't go more in depth and do his own TV series back in the day, and why he didn't like explain things like this, like get involved in the culture, like when the Clone Wars came. At first we were watching Attack of the Clones, and they're just like, okay, sir, all right, sir, yes, sir, let's go, sir. They're just very robotic. They're not.
Yeah.
But when you watch the Clone Wars, the cartoon, and some people are like, oh, it's a cartoon. It was fantastic because they got really deep into who the clones were. They had their own personalities. We didn't know that. They had their own ways about them. We learned about different types of Jedi, their personas, and I think that that's awesome that we get to learn again, like Luke was saying, they're not just monsters. They're not just, okay, they have a culture, they have a way, they have like everything in life, in our life, people have a reason that they do things, or how they do things, or how they go about doing things, where they're from. All that plays a part of who you are. And I think that was very important. And I know, again, I wish George would have done this back in the day. I wish it would have been a show about Tusken Raiders or Boba Fett or all these characters that he introduced. I'm glad we're getting it now, though. Better late than never. So I just think it was great. I think it was great to learn. Like Luke said, I think that was very important in episode 2.
Episode 2 for me, there was one thing, like, I feel like it was a little bit too. I was expecting it to be half Tusken Raider and then half flashback and then half actual time, but it was all in the past. And I feel like they could have just, frankly, they could have just cut that out and just started off when Boba was at his prime. Maybe they could have like released that as like an extra, maybe like, or they could have extended the episodes to maybe 12 episodes. I feel like they focused a little bit too much on the past. I want to see present Boba. I want to see where what he's doing now. But we kind of just got into it recently with episode 5, and we only got 2 episodes left. So I feel like episode 2 was a whole episode, just kind of not wasted, but because I liked the episode, I liked what happened, but it just feels like too short of a show to be throwing episodes where it's just all a flashback. Even though I did enjoy, I enjoyed the, like Luke said, exploring the traditions of the Tusken Raiders. I enjoyed, whatever the lizard going to his nose, and then he had to make the staff. That was super interesting to me because we saw that in Mandalorian. We never knew how he got it, but then we got a backstory there. That was interesting. But again, it's like more of a Tusken Raider thing. It's like they're exploring more into the Tusken Raiders than they actually are into Boba Fett. Boba Fett, he does things for them, but we learned far more about Tusken Raiders in that episode than we did about Boba Fett. And I think this show ought to focus more on the present time and Boba Fett. And episode 2 completely did the opposite of that. But I did enjoy it. I think it was a great episode, better than episode 1. But that's my only problem with it. It had the action scenes were good. Not the flashback, but like when he was having visions, I thought that was really insightful. And it's cool kind of trying to decipher, what he saw in his dream where he saw his dad flying off and then the tree and the eyes looking at him. That was interesting to me. But overall, I think we should start doing this now. We should start like rating the episodes, like do maybe like a 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, like that. What do you guys think?
Sure, but before we do that, I was going to say, what happens if Shad, if because there's going to be a season 2, obviously that they're not putting these shows out to do one season and say we're done. We see that with the Bad Batch, we see that with the Mandalorian, we see that once they introduce a show, they're gonna make more seasons. That's their goal. So they feel like, well, if we rush all this into one season, we got nothing for the future, So, but we want to continue this. I think that's the way that Disney is trying to go with these series. They're trying not to give you just, okay, let's squeeze everything into one and then we're done. I don't think they're doing that. That's my opinion. I think number 2, if they would have started for you, Shad, and I really want your opinion on this. Let's say they show Boba on the throne, and then all of a sudden he starts having a throwback, or he's in the back of the tank, right? He's like, I'm going to go heal. And then he starts having the dream, and they just go from the Sarlacc pit to the current. Would you have preferred that they have gone that way? I'm just curious.
Probably not. I like the backstory. My only problem is that it is a little bit like it's a little bit too short. It's the TV show to do such extensive, episodes on backstories, and ignoring the current situation. And especially, we're gonna get into this later, but especially that one episode, the last episode we watched, I think that was a complete kind of waste of an episode to do on a Boba Fett. That was a good episode. It was probably the best episode in this TV show, but episode 2 and episode 5, it feels like they could have done something more with, with the present time or with Boba Fett for episode.
Yeah,
5.
because it's called Boba Fett. It's not called Mando. It's not called Tusken Raiders.
Well, yeah, we'll get into that though. For me, I give episode 2 a good 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
How about you, Luke?
Probably around the same. I'd say around the same.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I might give it slightly more because I just really enjoyed the background with the Tusken Raiders. I was really happy that they went into that. So and to see that they were teaching him how to fight in a way, in a style he never knew. which makes him more dangerous than we know him. So I think I would have given it probably an 8.
Yeah. Well, we got episode 3. I would start this one off, but I'm trying to remember what it is.
I'll get you back into it. 3 was now at this point that they took him to kill the kid. I mean, to kill that monster, and the kid comes back with the head. So now they start training him. They start respecting him. Like, wow, he saved. He could have just done nothing and ran, but he didn't. He came back, and so now we respect him. So they, instead of being a prisoner, now they start training him in the ways the way the Tuscans were trained. And he starts doing the thing, and he's like, no, this way, and yeah. So that was when he started training, and I think that's I think episode 4 was with the speeder bikes and the train. So I think episode 3 was when he starts to learn the ways of the Tuscan. Like, they were drinking from the thing, and he's like, "What's this?" And he doesn't. So they start showing him how they survive, how they fight. So I think that was episode 3.
All right. I think. Wait, does episode 3 is with also the Power Rangers, right?
I think that's episode 4.
Yeah, I think that's 4.
That's 4. That's 4.
Okay.
4. I liked 4.
Huh. All right. Well, I'll start off with you, Luke. I'm sorry again.
I thought episode 3 was pretty good. I would say it's like episode 2 and 3 kind of blends in for me, because it's kind of, relatively the same. But episode 2 is like the backstory. Episode 3 is like, he's still with the Raiders, but it's present time type of thing going on. I would say it blends in for me, but I liked seeing that he was being trained. I thought that was cool. You said the next episode is when they took down the train?
I forgot too. I think that they also met the mayor in episode 2, and that's when they get surrounded in the current time by those people, and I was wondering, like, why didn't Boba use his jetpack or something like that? And I think that was episode 2, and I think episode 3 also did include the Power Rangers. I think that guy comes with the gift. And I think that's episode.
No, I think it's when they were.
No. Actually, I just looked it up. I went on the Disney Plus, and episode 3 was where the Power Rangers were introduced, and that's where the chase happened. That's the episode.
Yeah, that's when the guy comes with the gift, and he's pretending like, oh, these guys are causing trouble, and he's like, all right, I'll investigate, and he investigates.
So is that when
is it the black?
The hot chick was chasing that one dude. I like that episode. That episode. I'll give that one
like that episode. I did too, but I'll be honest. All right, I'll cut you off here, but I'll be honest. After seeing all of the Mandalorian, the second season Mandalorian, and seeing the episode, like rethinking about the Boba Fett episodes.
Yeah,
that episode was not that good. It was. I liked it better because, like I said,
I enjoyed it. I just had personal enjoyment for it for many reasons.
I also think they introduced, because this is when you guys made that video. I think they introduced the Hutts and the black, the Wookiee, the black. I forget. Chris Shanton, yeah. And I think that they warned him, like, hey, under law, this is ours. And he's like, well, if you want to take it, let's go. And they're like, we'll be back, And I think episode 3, after he gets the Power Rangers with him, then comes the part when the Wookiee tries to assassinate him, and they come back with the Rancor in episode 4, and he lets him go or something like that. And then he goes, it's somewhere like that. It's hard because I mostly because they go back and forth. They go between the past and the present. I just can't remember the present, how they do it. I just can't remember that fully.
Well, I kind of liked episode 3. I liked it the first time I watched it, but my problem with it now is that it doesn't seem nothing really happens of consequence. Sure, he finds out the Pikes are involved, but it's like Boba Fett himself doesn't even go out there and actually. That's what I was thinking of, actually. The first time I saw, the bikers ride off to get him, I was like, Boba Fett can easily just use a jetpack. He has rockets, fire a rocket on the guy's ship, and then boom, finished. But he has to have these like freaking 2 mile per hour bikes go try to chase him out, dude. It's like, come on, man. It's you could do it an easier way, and it doesn't even feel like Boba Fett himself in the comics and stuff. We don't really know him from the movies, but Boba Fett, he's a guy. He gets the job done, and he. I don't think he'd take a risk like that, letting these people who are pretty unexperienced and I don't know if they're that skilled chase this guy down and have the possibility that he might escape. But I think what they could have done with that scene is they could have just had like, oh, maybe they fail, maybe the Power Rangers fail, and then
I
Boba
love
Fett
that's what we're calling them, man.
What?
I love that's what we're gonna be calling them.
Well, that's their new name. But Boba Fett, in the end, gets the guy even though his Power Rangers fell. That's I think what they should have done. But that's only one part of the episode. The other parts, Black Chrysanthemum, is that where I believe is the episode of Black Chrysanthemum beat the crap out of Boba, right? It is.
I'm trying to think if it's 3 or 4 because I remember 4 he goes to get him and he hires him back because he knows the Pike War's coming.
Oh yeah, it's 3. It's 3 then.
So I think it's 3 that were introduced that he goes after Boba Fett. I think 2 were introduced to him with the Hutts. I think 3 is the assassination attempt, and 4 is when the Hutts give the Rancors a gift, and then he goes to try and talk with these other clans, and he's like, "Listen, just stay neutral, just stay out of it. If you're not going to join me." And then he's like, "Hey, bud, you need a job. Here you go. I'll hire you.
Yeah,
come work for me."
I think Black Chrysanthemum, I think he's cool. I think they got his character right. He's definitely very aggressive guy, goes against all odds. But the episode itself was, I think many of the parts of it were good. Like hiring new people, that made sense to me. He's a crime lord. He's not gonna.
A lot of setup.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me, but the problem was a lot of the aesthetics of it, like the Power Rangers. There's a reason why we call them the Power Rangers, just because their freaking colors are like all the entire rainbow. So it's like they could have done more, sort of like a grittier version of it, but it kind of looks ridiculous at the moment. But even I noticed it, and when I first watched it, me and Luke. Well, I don't know if he noticed it, but I noticed. I was like, "That's weird."
About it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we said something about it when we first watched. We watched it together, and I was like, "That's it's very colorful," or something like that. But
yeah,
and that kind of outshines the episode for me. That's the only thing I remember from this episode. But go, Rob.
Well, I was going to say that if they made the bikes darker, like we used to, grayish, blackish, maybe white,
it would have made more sense. That's what it would have made. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the colors are too bright. But the characters are good. They introduced a gang, a bunch of misfits, a bunch of people like they could have been runaways. They could have been like, yeah, you know what? We don't care. We don't have family, whatever. We're family, okay. Yeah, I could see that, and they, they're like, hey, since we're together, no one's going to mess with us. So we'll take what we want. We'll do what we want. We live outside, that's how we rule, how we roll. But he has to hire people. He got the 2 guards at first. He didn't kill them. He said, if you pledge your loyalty to me, I'll spare your life. Okay, great. Okay. Yeah, we'll work for you. Right with it. We'll work for you. I would have thought there would have been much more of an army that Big Fortuna had. I find that a little weird. Like, there's only 2. Like, I know Boba Fett killed a couple, but, like, there's only 2 of you. There should be 10, 20, maybe 30, There should have been more people walking in, say, like, who are you? Where's Bib?
Yeah.
I think they could have had that couple of that. Like, some people come back, like, what the hell's going on here? He could have been like, I'm the new guy, so you got a choice. You can hit the road, hit the bricks, or join me, and I'll pay you well. Like, he has to build an army. There's no way he can't. He's not a Jedi. He needs people. He needs the Mando. He could use Cobb Vanth. He could use the Black Chrysanthemum. He needs an army, and I thought that's where we were going to go to end the episode to get ready for the war. So I don't know if that's going to happen in the next 2 episodes, but man, he needs people. He's got aliens, people, whatever, Wookiees, whatever he can grab. He needs to get some, because you can't be a boss if you have 5-10 people, and you need a really good crew. You need a good 30 people. You got to take on the Pikes here, and they were coming. It was a whole squad of them. So
Yeah.
you know,
But I will say one thing that bothers me about this show is that, well, about Boba Fett's whole like family, you could say in general, is that he doesn't have a lot of henchmen. Like he has two freaking pigs, Gamorrean guards. He
Yep.
has Fennec Shand and himself. That's all he has. Like
People could
how
easily
does
people could easily overtake him if
why
you
are
kind of
why
look at
would people respect him at all? Like I don't get it. And plus, who does the work for him? Like who, with running like a cartel like he does basically. That's basically what his job is. Like who does the work for them? Who collects the money? Who does all of this? Does he do this? Does Fennec do this? It doesn't really feel like an actual uh organization. It just feels like, oh yeah, it's me, Boba Fett, Fennec Shand, and a couple of Gamorrean guards. That's it. That's all it is. And it doesn't feel serious to me whenever I think about it. It's like you would people really respect Boba? All he has is 4 people. He needs like Rob said, he needs like 10, 20, 30. That's what he needs to be doing his dirty work for him. But he doesn't have a lot. And I think it's I don't know why people in Tatooine would respect him. Okay, I'm gonna fix my voice. I don't know if people would respect him. It doesn't make any sense. So, all right. Well, with that, episode 3.
I was gonna say, you got to remember, like a lot of people, I don't know, like I've seen a lot of different channels putting things out, and I'm like, guys, I don't think you understand. Like I've been around since I saw it in '77. I followed like a lot of this stuff, cartoons and this and that. Boba Fett, when you see him, you fear him. And he's known throughout the galaxy as if you got 2 choices, man. I'm going to either kill you and take you. And, kind of like with the Mando's catchphrases, which I like. But that should have been more a Boba Fett's catchphrase. It could have been like, hey, I'm taking you in warm or cold. That should have been Boba's catchphrase, not the Mando's. But they made the Mando into the modern day Boba. But when you see Boba, like, his reputation alone should strike fear into the heart of anybody because of what he did for Vader, the Empire. Remember, the Empire was hired him in the comic books. I don't know if you guys know, but I watch a lot of theory, and in the comic, he's the one who found Luke, and he fought with Luke, and he went back to Vader, and Vader said, who is he? And he just said one word, Skywalker, and Vader was like you could tell, even though he has the mask on, you could tell he froze. Like when he heard the name, he was like, uh-oh, like, how can that be? That can't be right. Like you could tell Vader was just stone cold in the comic. So when Boba goes and gets hired, man, everybody fears him. He doesn't care who he has to kill. He doesn't get if he kills his partner. He doesn't care. His job is to get it done, bring you in, and that's the end of the story. So his name throughout the galaxy, even though we don't see that, should be a name that's feared. So when he comes into town with his armor, and he's like, I'm Boba Fett, and people know. They don't have to ask twice. They're like, I know the armor. I know him. I know his reputation. I know what he's done throughout the galaxy. I'm not messing with this guy. He's not one to mess with. But, since they have different clans throughout Tatooine, they're not afraid because, I got my clan. I'm not alone. But I guarantee if they were standing alone against them, they'd be crapping their pants saying, please, please, please. So people forget that. They forget what a feared character he really is. And I don't think, again, from watching the movies, you might not get that. But if you're a deep Star Wars fan like I am, you understand. You don't mess with Boba.
I will say my main problem with him like not having enough people at his side is mostly because from the logistics of it, you can't run a whole entire criminal or an organization with just 4 people. You have lieutenants, you got people under them.
Right.
So it's like, where are his lieutenants? Where are the people, his underlings, who control other people? He doesn't have any of that.
He does have the Power Rangers now, right? So let's include them. They're included, right? And they're loyal. Go ahead, Luke. Sorry.
I think that's what they're going to be setting up. in these next couple episodes, him kind of forming a crew. I think what they're trying to do, at least the way I'm looking at it, is, oh yeah, let's just have a bunch of people right now. No, he's not just going to get a bunch of 30 people right now. That's why they're setting up, trying to build up his army a little bit. That's why they're adding in these stupid Power Rangers. Why they're adding in, Mandalorian. Why they potentially might be adding in, like, I don't know, it could be Bosk, could be a new character, anything like that. They're not just. I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take a slow route. They could take a big route, faster, quicker, where boom, he has all these people now. But I don't think they're going to do that.
I think they could have had.
Obviously,
inherited. Go on.
He could have been like, "Oh hey, guys, come in, work for me," and then a bunch of 30 people come in. But I don't think they want to do it that way. I think they want to make each character kind of like, okay, I like this guy, I'm going to hire him. Have a little backstory to the crew, so we actually care for them, not just a bunch of random 30 people here and there. Oh, who cares about that? They're just I think that's maybe what they're going to be trying to do.
Yeah, probably. But thing is, Bib Fortuna, like, he should have inherited more people from Bib Fortuna, because Bib Fortuna, like, he had, like Rob said, he had like what, 2 guys as protection. Like, he should have. Those people who were loyal to Bib Fortuna, all of them, or most of them at least, would probably be loyal to Boba Fett after he killed Boba Fortuna. So
Yeah.
but he didn't get any of them. Like,
I
all of them
agree.
just scattered and they disappeared. So,
And another thing, if you guys remember the last episode before the Mandalorian one, they're in the tower or wherever they are, like high up, and he's watching all of them go, and she's like, we need more hired people. And she's like, do you have the credits? He's like, yeah, I got the credits. She's like, well, you just got to know where to look. And then the Mando's music plays. So I think that here's another thing too. People like, oh, I want to see Boba. I want to see Boba. You probably will. But you got to remember, when you're the boss, see, none of us are a boss. I'm not a boss. You guys aren't bosses. But when you're a boss, you don't do the dirty work. You give the orders, and the people who you hire do the dirty work. They're the ones who do the running around. If he says, hey, I need you guys to go into town and take care of this matter, okay, yeah. That's what you're paying. You're paying us to do that.
Yeah.
And you could see how loyal that these guys were right away, because when the Black Chrysanthemum tried to kill him, they all over this guy with their weapons, trying to stab him. They were all over him. It was like, all of a sudden, it was like not just Boba now, because Boba was getting his ass whooped by the Wookiee, which made sense. Because it's a Wookiee. Hello, a Wookiee and a human. Yeah, who's going to win? He could tear your arms off. So when all of them started coming in, there's 5, 6, 7 of them, and there's only one of him. He's like, oh, shoot, how am I going to, but he still held his own. He held his own. So I could see that episode showed me they're loyal. They didn't just let him die. They could have just let him die. Everybody, the guards could have let him die, but they didn't. None of them did. They all jumped to protect the leader. And that makes sense. That's what you do. Because the leader is providing you with a home. He's providing you with the cash. He's providing you with the lifestyle you want. Instead of them living in the street on sand and having a barrel to keep them warm at night, they got a home now. The guards, they could be out in the street too, but now they have a home also. So they're grateful for what he's providing them, and they know he can provide it, and they know his name brings fear. So people don't think that deep into it. And that's what I did. I was like, let me really think about all this. Let me put all this together. So when you think of Boba, you have to think fear. You have to think he's doing another thing. He's trying to gain respect. Well, we don't respect him. Well, you're going to respect me, because you're going to get to know who I am. You don't respect me now? That's cool. But you will, because I could kick your ass if it's one-on-one. You're Tony Tough, because you have your 30, 40 people. You're by yourself. I'm kicking your ass. That's who Boba is. He can kick any of those ass. Those guys at the table, he could have wiped them out. He could have disintegrated them. He could have wiped them out.
I think he's being a little bit more. I think he's getting a little bit more mature too.
Yeah.
I'll say add that in. Like, he's, maybe there's a better way to go about doing this. I like seeing that sometimes.
One thing I want to see also.
I also do want to see him being more badass. We haven't seen a lot of that, and we need more of it.
I also want to see Boba. I want to see him like what how he gets his money. What does he do? What does he run? You know, they say he runs. He's a daimyo of Tatooine, but what does that mean? Like, what is does he just collect taxes from these people, or what is his actual business? I want to
Well,
see more of that.
Well, he probably remember he was a bounty hunter. So the guy probably, what did he have? He had a ship. He'd drive around. He'd go from place to place to place. He didn't really need much, right? He just collect bounties, take care of his ship, and that's it. His ship never got shot up. I never saw his ship get shot up. By who? You know, so if you're not spending, and now if you think even more deeper, okay, the Falcon always got beat up, but he always had to repair it. He always had to fix it. Because he's getting vampires hunting him down. You know, the asteroid field, the whole nine. You know, the hyperdrive. Boba's ship never got shot up. So if the guy's not spending money on his ship and other things, what is he spending money on? Just maybe weapons, you know? And he got paid big time. The Empire was like, "We'll pay you for all the money in the world. What do you want? You know, double, triple, we'll give it to you. You know." And in the comics, Boba were like, "Listen, now that this job is going to require X amount, you know, I'm going to double or triple my money." And Vader was like, "Yeah, okay, go ahead, yeah, just get it done. I don't care. And credits is nothing to me. I'll give you what you want. Get the job done." That's all Vader cared about. Get the job done. You got the Empire backing you up, paying you all the time, dude. You're well to do. So that's why he was like, "Credits mean nothing to me." Yeah, they wouldn't mean anything to him. How many years was he a bounty hunter? But now he's older, you know, and you know, like me, father time gets here. You know, your body's at 40, you know, my body's not the same as you guys at your age. You know, you guys are young and you're energetic, you got all this energy. As you get older, man, you know, it wears you down. You know, working, doing this, that, all these things. It gets you. You know, your body's not the same anymore. Everything changes. So I think Boba's at that stage. Listen, I've done enough. I've done enough. I'm the boss now. I'm not taking orders. I'm giving the orders. And
Yeah,
you
he did mention
guys,
something about that. Yeah.
you know. So when everybody say, "Oh, I want to see him kick ass," you will. When the war with the Pikes come, I guarantee Boba's getting involved and he's going to kick ass like he did with those stormtroopers with the Mando. He's going to kick ass. But people got to realize, if you're the boss, do you go out and do the dirty work? What am I paying all of you for? If I have to do it, I don't fucking need all of you. Oh, sorry. I don't need all of you. I don't need you. I don't need you. I could do it myself. But he doesn't want to do that anymore. He wants to sit back, chill, and watch his crew do the work.
Yeah, I agree, but I want to see his crew do more. Like, I want to see where they get, you know, since he's a daimyo, he's like the leader, he's a boss. Where does he get his profits? Where does he get his money? Is it like, you know, the most we've seen is like probably when he asked the water guy to give him the like triple the money. That's sure. That's one time we saw him get any money. Maybe with the lady too, with the Twi'lek, her giving him money.
Yeah, but there were others. If you remember, Shad, and maybe you guys don't remember, he was sitting on the throne, and there were people giving him gifts, like because they respected him and they wanted his protection. So basically, saying like, "Hey, you know, you give me gifts, I'll protect you," you know. And they were like, "Yeah, I want my business protected. I'm going to go to you." You know, so they heard Boba Fett, and these people respect him. So their gifts were money. They probably came up and said, "Hey, I have business. I need your protection. Here's 500 credits." You know.
Plus, I'm wondering what Boba Fett, like, what the daimyo position is. It more of like, is he the actual ruler of that part of Tatooine, or is
I think
he
so.
like?
I think that they all have, because you remember when he met with all the people. The robot said that this one has this territory, that one has that territory. Remember, you're talking about a whole entire planet, right? And there's more than one city. It's not just one city. I'm sure there's multiple cities throughout Tatooine. So I'm sure one rules this one rules this territory, one rules that territory. This territory is uncharted, so this must be the Sand People. They rule that. That's where them and the Jawas go. You know, so I'm sure all the areas are divided. And Boba just took over Jabba's area. You know, and now that he's the ruler, those people are going to respect him. You know, that town is his. That's his area. So I'm sure that those people in those towns, you know, they can't show you every little intricate. Then we'd be here for like 10 seasons, you know, because they'd have to show business by business and how he protects them and how he has to come. And, and then you'd be like, okay, I got the point. I mean, how many episodes do I want to see of this person, that person? And so I think you just got to think outside the box. And I think too many people are just looking and not thinking and not diving deep into it. And they're just like, okay, all right, but what it is, but what did you just got to think a little. And that's, if you deep dive into it, you can grasp this whole show. I just don't think too many people are doing that.
All right, well, episode 4 now. Let's move on. Episode 4. Rob, let's do let's see, episode 4. Let me check it out. But that was the episode where.
Come on.
Oh, I remember episode 4. It's like when he was with the ship. He got the ship. He got the Sarlacc. He killed those people in the bikes.
Yeah.
Well, that episode, I really enjoyed that episode. It's like it did show Boba Fett being, doing his own dirty work. You could say a little bit more, and he was like, being he was beating the crap out of all those was Bib Fortuna's henchman at the time, and like shooting down the riders. That was cool, and I mean, it wasn't really an entirely
got better, but it progressively got better as you went through.
Oh, and the music in the end was awesome.
I think there's one thing you guys forgot about episode 3. The episode 3 was the one with the train. Remember the train was coming by shooting the Tuskens? The train one. It was episode 2 or 3. I can't remember. But 2. He teaches them how to go on a bike, which I thought was hysterical because it was so funny how they were like, whoa, and he was like, no, this way. And the guy kept jumping. He kept trying to teach it, and it kept falling and kept falling and kept falling. I thought that was very entertaining, and how they battled and they struggled to get to the train. And I enjoyed that because again, it showed like, it showed another side. Like, listen, we weren't messing with anybody. They were coming by shooting us. We were just mind our own business. And all of a sudden someone's shooting our guys. Like, what the hell? We didn't shoot at you.
Yeah.
What the hell are you shooting at us for? So it showed like Boba's like, yeah, you're going to mess with us? We're going to mess with you. So when people say to me, like you did, oh, I want to see more Boba. Like, you saw him there kick ass. You saw him take his ship and like obliterate these biker guys. Like, you tough on a bike? Really? Let me show you what my ship can do. And he obliterates like the whole entire gang in seconds. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm looking at people like, do you realize what Boba can do in a matter of 5 minutes? They have a whole show.
Definitely an aggressive guy, man. Definitely gets what needs to be done.
Yeah, like when he's mad, look, I'm going to show you. I got a score to settle. Okay, let's go. Boom, 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 boom. Done. I'm done. They're done. And who's next? I'll show you what I can do. Remember, Vader said no disintegrations. Boba can do that. Boba can set someone on fire. He's got rockets. The guy is equipped and he can kick ass, but people don't, they're like, Boba can probably kill me in a matter of like 2 minutes. I mean, he'll do a little talking and then I'm done. That's it. We got 60-minute show. You got to put some kind of drama in it.
All right, man. Yeah. I thought that episode, I liked how it progressively got better. It kind of showed the backstory of Fennec Shan and how she kind of became loyal to Boba Fett. I thought that was cool because I always wondered why she would stick around with Boba Fett. She seems kind of like sort of similar to Boba Fett as a means of being a lone wolf, kind of, doing her own thing, for the longest time since Clone Wars, Bad Batch. I'm not sure exactly where she appeared, but I know she was definitely in Bad Batch, and always working on jobs by herself. Same like Boba Fett. So their dynamic was kind of cool. She was like, there's something more to this guy. I can tell, and so she kind of sticked around to see what he was all about. She liked what he was about, so they're kind of partners now. I think why they work is because they're similar. I think maybe why Boba Fett likes her is because he saw himself in her, like, oh yeah, she's kind of like me when I was younger. So that's why I think that kind of works. I think as they went on, go and get the armor, shooting down the Raiders. I thought that stuff was cool. And then I think this is where Black Chrysanthemum gets recruited too, right? I believe it was this one. That was cool to see. When he was about to kill that retard, I forget his, he just held him up in the air, like, and then the chick was like, oh, "Don't do it, man. Don't do it." He was gonna do it, man. He did it just because he wanted to do it, and just because someone told him not to do it. That's why he did it. That's the kind of character he is.
Wasn't the creature like boss's type of creature?
Yeah,
exactly.
A Trandoshan, correct.
Yeah, because at first I didn't understand it, but because of you guys, I had to say I didn't know that there was a war between them. But then when I watched your video, it made more sense because I was like, at first, just watching it, like I was like, why would he just go up to these guys who are not bothering him? They're not messing with him. They're having fun. And why would he attack them? But when I watched your video, I never knew that he had a problem with them.
Yeah,
now I understand.
Kind of like a little vendetta going on there. But yeah, I thought that was cool to see. I thought this episode was definitely one of the top ones, I would say. It all kind of formed together. And again, the end was great. The music, I gotta find that, man. I'm gonna put on a playlist or whatever. But yeah, I thought it was good. It was one of the episodes that's just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. This is Boba Fett, where this is focused on him, not episode 5, which we're gonna get into, where he didn't even show up. What the heck,
All right, now with you saying that, let's get into
episode 5.
Episode 5.
Yeah.
And episode 5 is just an episode of The Mandalorian, basically, with Fennec Shan in the end. That's the only thing really that connects it with Book of Boba Fett. And honestly, I'm not really.
Great episode,
I'm not into it that much.
Yeah, great episode, but it doesn't make sense story-wise.
Yeah, they should have had Boba Fett come in there like at least halfway through. The Mandalorian. I mean, not. All right, I'm gonna confuse it now. That Book of Boba Fett episode 5 was, it was good. It was probably the best episode of Book of Boba Fett, which is sad because the best Book of Boba Fett episode is basically a Mandalorian episode. That's actually like that's not really fair for Boba Fett, to be honest. And I kind of hope that the next few episodes are not like this, because if they are, then that means basically that's all we've seen of Book of Boba. Now, that's all we've seen in the Book of Boba Fett's story and arc is the first 4 episodes. So this episode's good. I like I'm not gonna say the positives about it. It's a really good episode. But it does belong in the Mandalorian. It does not belong in the Book of Boba Fett. I like the action scenes. The first scene where he's in like a meat factory, that was awesome, man. My mind was blown when I was watching that, man. That was good. And his rivalry with Paz Vizsla, that was good. That was cool. And I like, we got a lot of world building in this episode. Actually, we got to see the ring world, where it's like just a world with ring, and it's the weather changes. That was awesome. We got to see how space travel works. You can just get a bus basically and get in, take it. You have to put your weapons there. That's pretty cool. I like seeing small things like that build the the world of Star Wars a little bit more. It's like, it's interesting. But the whole shipbuilding thing, I was okay with that. I wasn't thrilled about it. Like when I was watching it, halfway through, I was like, when they were still building the ship, I was like, what are they gonna do, man? Like, what's like, are they just gonna keep doing this for the rest of the episode? But the end, like, the end, whether he started going through the Dune Sea, going through the same path that Anakin took in episode 1, that was cool to me. That was awesome. And when he got caught for doing it, that was also cool, because again, it opens up world building. It makes the Star Wars universe feel a little bit more real, and having these cops / X-wing fighters stop them. But overall, I think it's a good episode. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. But for the Book of Boba Fett, I think they should have left this out. I think they should have left this maybe in the Mandalorian. But we'll have
Yeah.
to find out since we haven't gotten episode 6 yet. So maybe we'll connect to episode 6 somehow. But go on, Luke.
Rob gun comfy, eh?
Yeah, because of my leg, it's I can only keep it so long in a certain position, so I have to kind of change.
No worries, man. I got you. Stay comfy, man. I think I agree. This episode is definitely the best. I'll give it maybe. I would give it like 8.5. I would, because I think the only like weak point is when they're building the ship. But even that was cool because it kind of brought. It was kind of like a callback from the prequels. I agree. Opening scene, great. It was sick. I didn't expect that. Mando, I was almost wondering, like, in season 2, The Mandalorian, there were some parts where I thought maybe he was a little bit too soft, and I kind of forgot how vicious he could really be, because he was always soft around Baby Yoda and stuff like that. So when we saw this, like, he just like went right in for it, man. He was just, I'm gonna kill you guys, regardless. I think we kind of forgot a little bit about that kind of side of him because we saw him with Baby Yoda all the time. So I thought that was sick to see. That was cool. And I liked that buff dumb guy that was challenging him, the bigger Mandalorian guy. I thought that was sick to see that he challenged Din Djarin. And the Darksaber, I'm interested to see what's going to happen with that because Sabine Wren and Bo-Katan, they had the saber, So I'm interested to see like the progression, what's going to happen with it, because it just can't seem that someone can just keep it. Like it keeps being tossed around. Who's going to be you know what I mean? Maybe it always gets tossed around, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I thought the ending, yeah, the pod race scene, again, great nostalgia. But I really thought at the end that we were going to see at least with Fett, like it would have made sense. He's like, want to get hired or something, but they use Fennec Shan. And I agree with Shad. I think this episode kind of steals the thunder of the show, which we love Mando. We like Mando. We want season 3. You know what I mean? That's already been established. Now we want like Boba Fett. We want to see stuff about Boba Fett. We want Boba Fett to kind of get, more developed because, yeah, in the comics he is and all that stuff, but in the movies, not much. They brought him back for a reason, okay? And I don't think we should be seeing other people take the thunder, okay? So that's my opinion. We'll see what happens. I want the next 2 episodes to solely focus on Boba Fett. No more Mando. We have a whole show with Mando, and season 3 is going to be coming out. So that's my thoughts on it.
All right, Rob, what do you think?
For an episode, man, I loved it. I thought everything about it. I loved the whole entire thing. I like that lady. I think she brings a little comedy. I think she brings a little comedy to the Mando. She lightens the mood, which is good because you have your seriousness, and
Dude,
then you have.
You said what she got with the jaw. Oh my god, man! Oh man!
Yeah, that was a little weird, but you know what they did there, and I know it seems weird and like, oh my god, blah, blah, blah. Like, listen, it's Star Wars, right? Like, you would have no problem going with a Twi'lek, right? A Twi'lek, or however you say their name. So I'm like, to each their own. To each their own. We don't know what's on the.
Especially if they look good, like Ace Sakura, But Jawa, dude, they're like basically,
But keep in mind, we don't know what they look like underneath. Maybe she does. Maybe she saw a face and she's like, whoa, I didn't know you look like this. Like, that's okay, not so bad. We don't know. We only know 2 eyes that glow. That's all we know. And it's small. We don't know. Plus, she's by herself. We don't know she's wacky. She seems a little wacky with that hairdo. She seems a little out there. So whatever. Hey, if you're into
it. You hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
We hear you.
I mean, I think, again, like you said, some people feel, because again, I watched a lot of videos, they feel like, oh, you see, here's what they're doing. The Mando is their Boba Fett. The Mando is Disney replacing Boba Fett with a kick-ass guy, and this guy should have been Boba Fett. I get where people are going. I understand that the sequel trilogy, they killed Han, they killed Leia, they killed Luke. Look, they're wiping all the guys out, and they're bringing all their stuff in, and this is the future for them. That's what they want Star Wars to be. Get rid of the old, in with the new. I get why people feel that way. I get the original trilogy fans feel that way. But again, damn man, it's life, right? So we don't live forever. I mean, I did a video on my sports channel where Tom Brady says, "Listen, we all think we're going to live forever. We don't. We all think we're going to play the sport forever. We don't. We can't. It's life, man. It takes its toll on you, on your body, on your mental state, on your family." Yeah, I get those are perfect words to me. When Tom Brady said that, I said, yeah, you know what? That is exactly how I relate to the Star Wars. People don't see that. They're stuck in one way, and they want their characters to be this, and that's it. I mean, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I get it. But we saw a little Boba kicking ass. Boba wiped out an entire gang. Boba went into a cafeteria all by himself without a blaster. He had no blaster. They did. He still kicked their ass. One guy against 4 or 5, he kicked their ass. And those guys were bigger than him. So I'm like, you guys don't get Boba Fett. Boba Fett is a guy who could wipe you out. He knows how to use things. He's trained very well. I don't think people get it. It's they want to see the Boba Fett of 20, 30 years ago. Well, okay. I mean, then we'd have to go back again. But then people complain in the fandom. They say, oh, but we want to see George Lucas. We want to see something new. Well, make up your mind. Do you want to see something new? Or do you want to go back in time and see something else? You didn't like Solo. This fandom confuses me. It's like, it seems very hypocritical. I don't get. I'm trying to get what people want. You want to see Boba, but you want to see Mando. Do you want to see new characters, but you want to see the old characters? What do you want? I think that's the thing that drives me the most crazy about this damn fandom. The episode was fantastic. A little too much Mando, I agree. It should have been a little bit more Boba, but again, she's the one who said, "Give me some credits. You got credits? I'll go out. I'll go find your people." That's her job. Right now, it's about her. It's about her going to recruit people, paying the money. I need you to work for Boba. We got a war coming. He's looking to hire you. Okay. But Mando said, Boba Fett's on the house. Don't worry about it. What? Next episode, she might go get Cobb Vanth. Might say, look, we got a war coming. They're going to come and get you guys. We need you. We need your people. Maybe Cobb's like, all right, let me train my people. My people need weapons. We need this. Let's do it. Maybe she goes out and gets somebody else in Tatooine. Who knows? Maybe she finds. We don't know, But I think that this is gonna, like Luke said earlier, he's got to. And you said, and Shad said, he's got to recruit people. And who's he sending out? She's the recruiter. She's gonna go and find. Who knows? Maybe Bosk. Maybe Luke is right. Maybe Bosk. Maybe he comes too. Maybe Black Krrsantan sees him and they start having a war. Or who knows? maybe
that would be interesting to see, honestly.
I think the episode was great. It was really good. I think some of it should have been saved for the Mandalorian. I think the ship part could have been saved for the Mandalorian, because if they're setting up that he's going to go see Grogu and Luke, I think that should have been done in the Mandalorian. That's the only thing I disagree with. I think it should have been like she should have found him. He should have been like, who's the job for? Boba. Okay, it's on the house. Listen, I got to go get somebody. And then they could have showed Mando going to Cobb Vanth and saying, hey, listen, I helped your town. Now I need you to do me a solid, And I think that's where they should have where I would have went with the show. I wouldn't have went with the ship and the repairing. I would have said, you got a ship for me? And she'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll be back. I got business to handle, I don't know. Like, if you're going to help, why are you going to see Grogu now? I don't understand. Like, there's a war coming. Like, you just said you're going to help, and then you're off on your ship, and you're going to go see Grogu and Luke. Like, I don't get it. I'm a little confused by that. I don't understand. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I think maybe with Mandalorian seeing Grogu, maybe it's gonna be like a quick, he goes there, checks if he's good, and then just leaves real quick. But that's what I thought it was meaning, like just a quick stop to see if he's fine. But let's move on to our last section. Which character do you want to see more of, or like which character do you want to appear in this? Luke.
Which character do I want to see?
Or which character do you want to see more of? So if the character has already appeared, so like Black Chrysanthemum or something, or which character do you want to see?
Well, I was talking to Rob about this. I personally want to see Kira show up. That's who I want to see. I think Kira would be a great addition.
I agree.
And her being connected to the syndicates would be great if she came in. Because remember, Maul was in charge, right? Maul's dead. She could have easily taken over, and she could be running it, right? So imagine she comes in, man. She comes in, and then we get to see this. She's part of the battle, like you see the fighting and stuff, and then she's like at the top in her ship, and then she like jumps down, and then because she has some skills, man. And then we see her going and start fighting. That'd be great. Maybe even she loses the Boba Fett, and we see Slave Kira. Who's to say, man? Who's to say? I mean, I was talking about it, a couple months ago. Might be realized.
It's the closest. I'm not even joking. This is the closest we've ever gotten to Slave Kira this whole show.
And you know what? I was thinking about this whole time, but I was like, yo, it might actually happen. That'd be great. That's all. It would be great. It'd be great. I know Rob would love it. Look at him, man. He's like, oh yeah, I'd love to see that. Don't worry, Rob. So would I.
Oh, that's so funny, man. That's so funny. Like, I guess that's a good point. I mean, rumor is that she may have her own show. Now I know that there's been leaks and drops of her working for the Secret Invasion stuff. So I have a strong feeling that she's coming one way or the other. I don't know if she's coming through the Book of Boba, whether she's gonna. Because remember with Gina Carano when they let her go. Well, now that show's been canceled. So now they have an opening. Then they're like, okay, well,
that's true.
And rumor is, I don't know how true it is, that she's going to have her own show, that they're going to show, her taking over. Because like you said, Maul's dead,
Exactly.
Again, I don't know for 100% certain that's going to happen. It could. It's possible. She is working again. So it's possible. Again, I really want to see Cobb Vanth because I thought he was a great character, and I really want to see more of him. I do want to see more of the Black Chrysanthemum because I think he's awesome. He's fantastic. Another character they introduced, which is awesome. I do know one thing that is coming. It's a spoil. I don't know if you want me to spoil it for you. I do know it's coming down the pipe. If you want me to say it, I'll say it. If not, I'll just keep my mouth shut. But okay, there was a leaked photo art from the show, and it wasn't supposed to come out, but someone got their hands on it. It showed Boba Fett riding the Rancor. Now, at first, this didn't make
that's chill, man. That's chill.
Now, this didn't make any sense to me when before the Book of Boba came out. I was like, why would he be riding a Rancor? Now, it makes 100% sense to me. Now, I don't know if this is going to happen now, but I think it's going to happen in season 2. I think that will happen when the war starts and maybe like things are going the Pike's way, and he's like, I'm about to even this up right now. I'm not playing a game. And he probably comes out because the photo showed him on top of the Rancor, like the Rancor's charging, like, and he's big. He's not these little teeny thing. He's coming right. And I'm like, well, this Rancor is going to kick the Pikes. These Pikes are going to be crapping in their pants, man. And I see it coming. That it's coming. I just think it's going to happen in season 2. But I did see the photo, and I was like, At first, and people, there was someone who did a video on it, and they were like, "Wow, this is really awesome." And I did see the photo, and I was like, "Yeah, this is awesome." And so it's coming. You're going to see him on a Rancor. So people who are like, "Oh, I'm going to see Boba," I'm telling you, give it time. Boba's coming. Boba's coming, and he's going to kick butt. And that Rancor is going to be, it's going to be.
What if
I can't imagine the scene. I think it's going to be fantastic.
what if Boba Fett were to challenge Mando for the Darksaber, and then we see like Boba Fett, you know, he has like the Darksaber with the Rancor? That'd be sick.
That would be sick, but Boba Fett is not a Mandalorian, so I don't think he'd care about that.
The second thing, they have a bond now.
Yeah,
and their bond is strong. So Boba's not going to care about Mandalore. He because now imagine he has to Tatooine and Mandalore. He's not looking for this. He's just looking to settle.
Yeah.
And that's it. He's like, he's not looking, I'm going to take over the galaxy. No, he doesn't care. But, that's not his place. And I think with the Mandalorian, you brought up a great point about that Darksaber. Because I was thinking about that the other night. Darth Bane had the rule of two, right? And the reason he had the rule of two is because the Sith, there's so many of them, but they all wanted power. So what do? They all killed each other off. It wasn't the Jedi that wiped them out. It was themselves. So he said, listen, this is ridiculous. We got to have a rule. And for now on, the Sith are going to have the rule of two. There's a master and apprentice, no more, no less. That's it. Just two. So I think that this Darksaber thing, you're right, because everybody could challenge everybody and, like, oh, I'm power. Okay, yeah, I'll challenge you. Okay, now I'm power. No, I'm going to challenge you. It's got to come to a point when someone's got to respect the leader and say, hey, I respect this leader. Until the leader gives all the Mandalorians something to disrespect. Says, let's say the guy turns into an a-hole and says, I don't care about you guys. You're going to pay me. And that's the rule. I'll chop your head off or whatever. And they'll be like, no, man, I'm stepping up. I don't respect this guy anymore. Because it's a little ridiculous. Like, what is every Mandalorian going to challenge Din Djarin? There's got to come to a point that there's some kind of respect and someone takes the leader role and everybody respects him.
But all right, the character I want to see the most of. You guys already said Black Chrysanthemum, Kira,
and Cobb Vanth.
Man, that's everybody. You gotta get the biker chick. There we go. That's the only one. I want to see more of. All right, there we go. But
there's no other character you like out there that maybe would fit now. Like, what about like Chewbacca? Would you want to see Chewbacca come and he meets up with Black Chrysanthemum?
Probably not. No.
No.
Kira's better than the biker chick, though. Kira's better.
Kira's better than the biker chick.
She is better.
You have to see a side-to-side type of thing, but yeah.
We'll
have to discuss this at a later video. Sure. Kira versus biker chick next versus.
We're gonna do it. Also, I wanted to add on something that I think, Shad, I think if you were an actor, you would be a great villain. Because
villain.
Yes, I see your face during this stream. Sometimes you look like pissed, like you wanna punch one of us. So I don't know, man. I think
I'd be a great villain. Oh, okay, yeah, maybe I can play like Boba Fett's henchman or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, look, he's got the colors of Sith too. So do you, Luke. You both got a little black, and you both got red going on there. Look at that.
That's true, man. That's true.
It's like he's got the chair. That's the only difference. Shad got the chair.
Yep.
I got a chair too, but it's like
this is black.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think that's it. Thanks, Rob, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, maybe we can have you. Maybe we could do like a Battlefront stream someday.
That would be sick.
Sure.
We could go on your channel too, man. That'd be sick.
Whenever you guys want, we could plan it out. You got my number.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for. Actually, no. We got to read the comments. The comments. All right.
What the heck is this, dude? Some freaking. You
got a couple of bots. Dude, you could time them out. There's bots. I'm just gonna tell you on every stream, no matter who you are, these bots come. So it's better to time them out. Or ban them.
Morgan, it's a good show. I hope episode 6 isn't just a Mando episode with Luke and Grogu. I hope it's mostly Boba. Yeah, I would agree with that. We got Shad looking like an expensive lawyer. Okay. All right. That's a compliment. We got more about the lawyer type of the jacket adds to the lawyer look, I guess. All right.
Then what do me and Rob look like, guys? Come on.
I don't know. Hi, I can't hear you guys. My volume. Okay. You must check his message, apparently. All right. This is MMA King.
All right.
I'm about to pull some ladies at the bar. Okay. He's
Why
probably gone now, but good luck.
MMA, you should have called Luke and Shad, man. What's up with you?
All right. We got Shad has a good poster. It's talking about this one, I think. Episode 3, that one. Yeah, I think that's it. Well, again, thank you for coming. Everybody else, thank you for coming to the chat. This is Entertainment Crew signing out. Come on. Whoa.